I serve as the industry principal for life sciences. There is a plethora of data that's out there today, and data around patients and data around real-world evidence, clinical data, data in the laboratory and research, all the way throughout the value chain of pharma. And so the challenge with that is being able to find that data if you're within an organization and be able to access it. They want to have the flexibility to be able to use that data and according to what they're truly trying to solve for. We're a highly regulated industry as well, which is always a little bit more difficult when you come from a data governance, data security standpoint, meaning patient data or PHI. And this is something that we all really have a stake in. And so we want to make sure that we truly are guarding and governing that data. And so what that means is that from the moment that data is findable and accessible, only the folks that are able to see certain types of data get to see that. So whether it's from just finding and accessing, but also through data products. So when we move to where we're creating data products, we want to make sure that that governance or that security really follows that data all the way through to the data products that are used on a daily basis. And we know not all data is going to reside and live in Snowflake. It may reside in iceberg tables. It may be in other organizations' data lakes, et cetera. And so at the end of the day, for a enterprise, you want to make sure that you're putting that governance or those rules and guardrails around who gets to see what, right? And then at certain levels throughout, maybe those permissions or the provisions for that may change a little bit for who, gets to see certain products even, because we want to make sure there's safeguards or walls between, for instance, commercial and medical affairs. In life sciences, the huge initiative is around patient data, right? And so we really want to make sure that privacy preservation is there. We're in an era where there is just data explosion in the way we can use data. So I actually think that data security, data governance, really the most important, because again, without your data foundation and data strategy, which encompasses this, you can't move to the next levels of how you're going to use that data. So our customers are using data. They have to make sure that they're following all HIPAA guidelines, right? In the clinical world, we have to make sure we're following GCP. So there are controls and regulations, and then there is the governance and security and privacy of what data also needs to be secure. So you've got to manage both of those in tandem. We've had GXP in place, for years and years and years. And so as the digital era, has come about and the plethora of data, they're constantly coming out with new regulations. And so you've got to have the ability to be able to integrate those new regulations in as well and be able to comply with what those regulations are. So it's always evolving, it's always changing, and organizations have to spend a lot of time and attention on that. And so what Immuta will allow us to do is be able to work in tandem with them within our organizations to ensure that all of the data that's findable, accessible, repeatable, interoperable, all the above, is really adhering to those guidelines. So at Snowflake, we have what we call row-based access. And so sometimes we need to take that a little bit further to the attribute level or whatever that organization wants to do. And so Immuta, with their solutions, has the ability from a GXP standpoint, but through a whole governance security, really to govern that and ensure that all of that data, which is in our customers' ecosystem, really is aligning to what the compliance security of that organization is. But I think specifically about Immuta and when they're and what they can offer that many other organizations cannot is really that true enterprise security and de-risking, mitigating risk for that organization. Because again, We know that not everything's going to reside in Snowflake. There's going to be data that's in the enterprise. And so being able to ensure that governance, that security, and the levels that it needs to be at in that whole ecosystem of the enterprise is crucial. And so for that, I think that it's a real differentiation. And then taking it just a little bit further and being able to do that from an enterprise level, but add in the regulations that are within this industry, it makes it truly a unique combination. And I think that we're very fortuitous to be able to work with Immuta to be able to bring this to market.